The night before my wedding, my dead grandmother appeared in my dream and told me not to marry the man I loved. She had been gone for 3 years. But in my dream, she looked exactly as I remembered her, wearing the blue sweater she had been buried in. She grabbed my hands and looked terrified. Then she said, "Cancel your wedding. Wake up before sunrise. Go to his mother's house. You will understand everything." I woke up at exactly 4:12 in the morning, shaking. I tried to convince myself it was just stress because I was getting married in a few hours. But something inside me would not let me ignore her warning. So I got dressed, grabbed my keys, and drove through the empty streets toward my future mother-in-law's house. My name is Claire Morgan. I was 28, and I believed I was about to marry the perfect man. I had been with Ethan Parker for 4 years. He was successful, charming, and kind whenever people were watching. My parents loved him. My friends admired our relationship. Our wedding had taken almost a year to plan, but that morning, everything changed. When I reached his mother's street, I saw Ethan's black SUV sitting in the driveway. That made no sense. Ethan had told me he was spending the night at his best friend's apartment before the wedding. I sat in my car, staring at his SUV, trying to find an innocent explanation. Then I noticed the front door was slightly open. I walked inside. The house was silent, except for voices coming from the kitchen. Then I heard Ethan laugh, and for a second I felt relieved. Maybe I had been worrying for nothing. Then his mother asked, "Are you sure this is the right thing to do?" Ethan answered calmly, "It is too late to turn back now." I froze. His mother said she was afraid things could become messy. Ethan told her not to worry because Claire trusts me completely. Then he said, "After the wedding, we will slowly combine everything. The house, the accounts, all of it." My heart started pounding. They were talking about me. His mother asked if I would ever discover why he had really chosen me. Ethan laughed. Then they mentioned my grandmother's lake house, the property she had left me after her death. Ethan explained that after we were married, they would eventually renovate the house and sell it. Along with my savings, the money would help them get out of debt. His mother sounded guilty. She told him she hated watching him take advantage of me. Ethan replied that he was not taking advantage of me. He was making a practical decision. Love did not pay bills. Then he said something that broke my heart. He planned to be the perfect husband for a few years. Once everything was legally connected and our finances were settled, they would decide what to do next. I quietly pulled out my phone and started recording. Every word, every lie, every plan. When their voices moved farther into the kitchen, I slipped out of the house and ran back to my car. I did not scream. I did not confront him. I simply sat behind them, wheel and cried as the sun began rising. Then I realized something. I was not driving home to decide whether to cancel my wedding. I was driving home to figure out how to expose the truth. When I returned, everyone was preparing for the ceremony. My mother was arranging food. My bridesmaids were getting their hair and makeup done, and everyone kept telling me how beautiful the day was going to be. Then Ethan texted me, "Good morning, future wife. I cannot wait to marry you today." I stared at the message before replying, "Me too. See you at the ceremony." I had never lied so easily. Before the ceremony, I called my grandmother's longtime attorney and told him I needed immediate protection for my property and finances. He promised that nothing would be transferred or combined without my permission. By noon, the garden venue was packed. Ethan stood at the end of the aisle, smiling at me like nothing had happened. I walked toward him, but I knew the truth. This wedding was already over. The officiant began the ceremony. Then he asked the traditional question. "If anyone has a reason these two should not be married, speak now." I slowly raised my hand. "I do." The entire garden became silent. Ethan stared at me. "Claire, what are you doing?" I looked at everyone and said, "Before anyone signs anything, you deserve to know the truth." Then I connected my phone to the speakers. Ethan's voice filled the garden. "Claire trusts me completely." Then the recording revealed his plan to combine our finances and sell my grandmother's lake house. Finally, his mother's voice echoed through the garden. "I just hope she never discovers why you really chose her." Everyone gasped. Ethan rushed toward me and demanded that I turn it off. He claimed I had misunderstood everything. I simply looked at him and said, "Then explain it." He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. I turned toward the guests and said, "I deserve a marriage built on honesty, not a financial plan." Then I walked away. Near the parking lot, someone called my name. It was Eleanor Hayes, my grandmother's closest friend. She took my hands and told me that 2 years before my grandmother died, she had given Eleanor a sealed envelope with one instruction: "Give this to Claire if she ever needs to remember to trust herself." Inside was a handwritten message from my grandmother. She told me never to silence my instincts just to keep someone else comfortable. She said a loving heart should never require me to ignore the feeling that something is wrong. I cried when I read it. Maybe my grandmother had not literally visited me that morning. Maybe it was her wisdom living inside me, warning me at the exact moment I needed it. 6 months later, I returned to her lake house. Instead of selling it, I restored it. I kept every memory that reminded me of her, and for the first time in months, I felt completely free. Ethan tried contacting me several times. I never answered. People sometimes ask if I regret walking away from my wedding. I always give them the same answer. I did not lose the future I wanted. I escaped the future I never deserved. That day taught me that love is not about perfect photographs, expensive rings, or beautiful promises. Real love is about honesty when nobody is watching. And sometimes, the greatest gift life can give you is not the person standing beside you at the altar. It is the truth that gives you the courage to walk away. Because sometimes the wedding you cancel is the life you save.